So we have a lot of just, I guess, really great news to start off, although we just have very just general news to really share in today's update about what's been going on in the world of the fourth stimulus package. So, hey everyone, how's it going today? And welcome back to another update. So the big news to maybe just share and start off with is that, as some of you guys know, is that in order to work on the fourth stimulus package, they had to first try to focus on working on the government spending bill so that they can keep the government running, so that they can now go back to negotiating all of the stuff related to stimulus programs. So in other words, programs meant to put money in our pockets. Well, the really big news to maybe start by sharing is that the government spending bill, in order to keep the government running, has now officially been approved inside of the Senate. So now that it has been approved inside of the House, it has now been approved inside of the Senate as of yesterday. If you're watching this on release date, it is on the road to Biden's desk, and it is expected to approve in Biden's desk. And once it gets approved there, then the really great news is that now they can continue having the government running, and then hopefully now focus a lot more on trying to now do fourth stimulus programs and the good stuff that we really care about. So in today's update, I really just want to do a quick update about what's been going on, the background story to that, and basically the next steps of what we should expect in terms of stimulus going forward now from here. So we're gonna get started, but as always, real fast, before we begin, consider smashing the like button as always, because at least we're talking about something I think is relatively good. Consider subscribing and hitting the bell. Of course, you guys can decide, but it is always greatly appreciated. And as always, feel free to comment any questions, personal thoughts about honesty, or maybe any predictions by the end of this video. Or honestly, it's just always great to say hi to new and familiar faces. So with that being said, let's get this video started. So maybe to start as maybe just a general background story to what's been happening is, as just mentioned, is that the government spending bill has now officially been approved inside of the House, inside of the Senate, and it is on the road to President Biden's desk and is now expected to approve in its entirety. So essentially last week it was approved in the House at a vote of 273 to 162. So I believe specifically 221 Democrats voted for it and 51 Republicans voted for it. And then inside of the Senate, it was approved at a vote of 65 to 27, where 65 people voted in favor of it and then 27 people voted against it. And I believe that now that it's been approved, it will now be taking the government and allowing it to continue running for another 3 weeks now, all the way until March 11th. Now, the big thing to note, and maybe in terms of what's actually going to be coming next, or what we should, expect and really be able to prepare for, is the fact that next week, Congress is actually going to be going on vacation again. And as most of you guys know, the big reason why is really because of President's Day. And whenever there is a holiday, even if that holiday happens to be one day, in the world of Congress, one day of a holiday is equivalent to 1 week of a vacation. So because of that reason, they're going to be taking next week off. But of course, because the government is now extended by another 3 weeks, the timeline, what it's going to likely be looking like right now, is that they're going to be taking next week to go away on working on a lot of other stuff. Then they're going to come back, and then now they're going to start to continue working again on the fourth stimulus package. Now, afterwards, what it is that they're probably going to have to work on creating the new government spending bill again, but now to extend it even further. With that being said, though, is that I do believe is that a lot of people in Congress, according to their words, again, we don't know what it is, but they hope to try to get it approved within the next 2 to 3 weeks, as in the entire, the fourth stimulus package. So if that ends up going through, then this pretty much is going to wrap up the, most of the fourth stimulus negotiations and everything related to that world. Now, the story with it, what's going on also on Biden's side is that President Joe Biden, while a lot of Congress is going to be going on vacation, our President Joe Biden is actually going to still be working on his plans for everything related to just fourth stimulus. The big thing to really note about what's happening in that world right now is that President Biden has been and will continue to be traveling around the country in order to try to promote his fourth stimulus plans. So this is the part that basically ranges from things that we probably, really do care about, such as like child tax credit, things such as like reduced cost of prescription drugs, healthcare, things related to that, the pandemic. There are some other subtle programs that are very niche that some people may or may not care about, such as like about energy, climate change. I know for a fact, interestingly, Joe Manchin is actually very much in support of those particular programs, and then really just about trying to promote states to really be able to do stimulus programs or to offer as much relief as possible to the people that actually really still very much genuinely need it. We are getting a lot better. I think it's very, very fair to say. A lot of people have been here for a while, so really, really huge thanks to that. But the big idea is that as we look around, I think it's very fair to say the pandemic, it is starting to already recover a lot. People are already starting to go back to work. But of course, there are still some touch-ups that can certainly really finalize and, really bring the country, as the name suggests, build back better together as its final finishing touches. Now, I do maybe want to just explain a little bit about the significance of why he's really trying to do that, because right now at this time, as most of you guys know, the hard news is that there are no federal traditional universal fourth stimulus checks inside of this bill. However, I think the reason why he's still really trying to preach, and this is not something that he's necessarily going to share in the news, but it is just something you kind of have to logic and really just speculate about why this is happening, is because I think the idea is that right now, a lot of people, including Biden, knows that deep down inside, it's going to be a challenge to try to get fourth stimulus through. However, I think the reason why he's still making an effort, now, maybe by chance, it actually does go through. We don't know because, they're still working on skinny bills and all that stuff. But I think the ultimate goal, what he's really trying to achieve by doing this, is that because by promoting it inside of a lot of different areas in different states, even if the fourth stimulus package, let's say, struggles to, approve in its traditional, across the country level, I think the big goal is that just by simply promoting his ideas, if he's able to even at least get state representatives to support what he wants to preach, the goal is that maybe, in fact, not even maybe actually, because we're already starting to see it actually in a lot of ways, a lot of states can now try to come out to do their own programs individually. So what this means is that, for example, maybe if he tries to preach stimulus checks, even if it's not actually in the bill, it can maybe prompt a lot of state leaders to approve their own individual stimulus checks. Now, we have already talked about several states that already have approved programs. Again, it's physically happening right now. I did make a video talking actually several videos that really talk about it. So I'll definitely put that at the very end screen. If you guys haven't checked it out, it just talks about the programs that are available right now. This will probably apply to about a couple 100,000 people. So it's very, very probable if you're watching this, hopefully as many people can get as much relief as possible, but at least it's something that's happening. And I'm pretty sure is that the good news is that as they're working for more, it is anticipated that even more programs will come. And I think the other ultimate goal that's not really talked about is that by just simply promoting it on the state level, I think the big thing is that he's really just trying to gain support so that when election times come again, he can potentially try to keep Congress as blue as it possibly can be, so that regardless of political party, again, we have a very mixed opinion, which I think is really awesome, so we can get some perspectives from people on all sorts of, political backgrounds or views. But the big idea is that by trying to keep, objectively speaking, the by trying to keep Congress as dominantly one color as possible, what it really does helps to achieve is that it makes it so that it's a lot easier to just approve bills in general. Now, ideally, of course, we probably want the party that reflects the ideas that we actually really believe in, but the idea is that by trying to keep the party a particular side, what it means is that now, even if, say, for example, Joe Manchin or Kristen Sinema doesn't support a lot of these plans, if they're able to gain enough votes or just gain enough people to come to their side, they may not even need them anymore. There's a probable chance that maybe now they can get votes elsewhere, and now it can become significantly easier for them to even just do not just stimulus, but just almost any kind of legal, fiscal, monetary policy, law, rules in general now going forward. And I think that's really the ultimate goal and motivation that they're really trying to achieve by doing everything that they're doing. Of course, now that we at least got the government spending bill through, we can at least move forward. And I think that's the really, really great news. So beyond this is that that's pretty much what I really wanted to share in today's update. So if you guys found that relatively insightful, maybe consider smashing the like button. If you guys haven't done so, consider subscribing, hitting the bell. Of course, it's always greatly appreciated, but you guys can decide. And as always, feel free to comment any questions, personal thoughts about honestly anything. So if you guys made it this far, thank you guys so much for watching. As always, stay safe, stay well. If you're watching this on release date, happy President's Day weekend, and hope to see you guys next time. Thank you guys so much again.